On this episode of Axel Arigato Talks, we are joined by a game changer of culture, rap, style, and everything in between. For anyone wondering, who's that girl? It's Eve!
Hello.
Hello! Welcome, thanks for being here.
Please, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a bit of a pinch me moment. Do you mind pinching me?
I'll pinch you.
Okay,
Not
it's
too
real.
hard.
Oh,
Not too hard.
God for that. I have so many questions for you.
Yeah.
So much to get into across your music eras, across your impact, across all the different things I just mentioned, where you're creatively at today.
Yeah.
But I want to give some context and kind of start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I feel like you've lived many lives.
Yes.
From choir girl to rap battles.
Yeah.
From West Philly to LA to London.
Yeah.
To here today.
To here today.
So going back to sort of born and raised in West Philly,
Yeah.
I feel like it's cooler to say Philly as well. I'm not going to say Philadelphia.
Yeah, you say Philly.
Philly.
Philly. Yeah.
How did West Philly prepare you for the woman you are today?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's funny because Philly women, Philly girls are known for being feisty. That was something people used to say to me all the time. Like when I would go up to New York, people would be like, "You from Philly, aren't you?" And I'm like, "How do you know?" "Oh, you so feisty. Philly girls are feisty." Meaning, sometimes there was a chip there. Sometimes there was an attitude. Most times there was an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that attitude is what helped me, be able to succeed, and especially in hip hop. Especially in that business. I've always kind of been a tomboy as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the girliest tomboy, I guess. That helps a lot.
One of my favorite things I read about you was you called yourself a pit bull in a skirt.
Yes. That is in like one of my first songs I think I did for Rough Riders when I was signed to Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm. Just the visual of a pit bull in a skirt.
Pit bull in a skirt,
but
yes.
channeling that energy.
But that really do feel like that is who I am, who I have been throughout my career. And I think it's kind of what the energy I had to take on, especially coming up in hip hop with a bunch of guys. Definitely. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a male-dominated industry.
Completely.
And when you signed to Dr. Dre's Aftermath label,
yeah,
they put you out there for what? By the time it hit 8 months,
yeah,
you would just burst into other people's recording sessions and be like, "Hello,
yeah,
I'm here to record. Let me do something." So that Philly energy came.
The Philly energy, but also at that time, my name was Eve of Destruction. I was calling myself Eve of Destruction after this movie that had come out. I'm so happy I stopped calling myself that. But that's how I felt. I'm like, he signed me. I'm in LA. And I just thought I was 18, just turned 18. I'm like, when you get signed to a record label, you're supposed to be recording. Little did I know, he didn't put me on the shelf at all. It was just, I think he was waiting for me to be ready, whatever that meant. But I didn't know.
Well, that's the thing, because that definition of ready is in someone else's mind.
Yeah, completely. But I do have to say, I love Dre. I think he's incredible. He is the Godfather. I always call him the Godfather. But when I got signed, after he dropped me, and I got signed to Rough Riders, it was something that had to happen. I would not be who I am now had I not been dropped. It was literally the worst thing that ever happened to me. One of the worst things that ever happened to me in my life, but also one of the biggest lessons I've ever had in my life, about being humble, and about kind of doing the work, and not in like an airy-fairy way, but literally doing the work, and figuring out who you want to be as an artist. Because I didn't know who I was or the sound that I wanted to I didn't even know how to make a song.
Right.
I didn't know how to make a song.
When you arrived there?
I was a battle rapper.
Yeah.
I wasn't a songwriter. So even that. So yeah.
Talk to me about the battle rapping.
Yeah.
Because you went from singing in a choir.
Yeah.
And then you thought to yourself, okay, this is giving group. I want to be more.
Yes.
So you started to venture into rap battling because it was more sort of like taking it into your own hands. So what was that like? And was it 8 Mile, or is that a very like...
Oh my God, that is so funny. But kind of.
Is that like a Hollywood version, or is it more like
No,
gritty?
you know what? I have to say they did a good job with that movie, to be honest. I don't know I don't know Detroit. I love the D though, by the way. Detroit is amazing.
love
So
the D.
the D. I do love the D.
Me too.
So good. But Detroit is amazing where he's from. And it does kind of remind me of Philly.
Okay.
So in some ways, I do think that they did get it right. It's called a cipher, which is a circle that you get into with a bunch of people.
A physical circle.
A physical circle. And then one person starts, next person goes, next person goes. And then you basically kind of take people out with the way that you rap. And for me, I just loved it. Like, I love singing, but I loved hip hop and I love rapping because it got me more attention.
That's what
basically.
That's what I read. You were like, how can I pursue something that has the most impact?
Yeah. And also I love doing something that made boys feel little. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know why, but I had this whole thing about, okay, I want to battle guys. I don't want to be good. I don't want to just be a girl rapper. Like, I want people to respect me lyrically. And so I battled a lot of guys all the time.
So you put in the craft.
I did. I definitely did. But it's funny because a lot of people who do ciphers kind of go off the top of their head. They freestyle. I'm not a good freestyler. I've never have been.
Mm-hmm.
So in those battles, I would just talk about dick size or the fact that they live with their mom or that they don't have a car or something. And it was always like...
these things were true.
But they were all true.
Yeah.
But because of their egos, they just couldn't understand, like, why are you coming at me so personally? Well, it's just... honest.
So that was your beginning.
That was my beginning.
And then signed to Rough Riders.
Yes, signed to Rough Riders.
What do you remember about that time?
Everything. I actually got signed in a cipher. I got signed in a battle. I basically was rapping for my life in this studio in Yonkers. Literally, it was me, Dragon, and I believe Infrared in a cipher, and that's how I got signed. And it was interesting because for me, when I first got signed to Aftermath, I was like, this is it. I've made it. I'm signed. And to be having to prove myself again, for me, it was like, there is nothing. I can't lose this. It was such even now when I talk about it, it was such a feeling of like, I will never get this chance again. Right. This is the chance. Like, I knew it. This is the opportunity.
So you didn't take it for granted at all?
No, at all.
Not a
minute. I couldn't. There's no way. I wasn't going back home. Like, in my head, I was like, there's no way I'm going back to live at my mother's house and sleep on her couch. Like, there's no way. No.
But that energy ties in with what you were doing there. It was like battling for your life.
Battling for my life. Literally. That's how I felt. I honestly was like, I don't care how this happens. I don't care if we have to go for the whole night. I will rap the whole night. Whatever needs to happen.
I will be here next day, still going.
No problem.
In terms of that era, you said you remember it well. When you started to produce your own solo music and sort of start to build the Eve blueprint, who you were as an artist, what you wanted to sound like, is that very far from where it is, would you say, today? Are there still some elements that are still there? Or
I think back then, it's so funny. I really thought when I did my first album that I was like, I only want to do one record just to make sure, just to prove to everybody I could do it. I didn't really realize how contracts worked back then. But that first album for me, every album was different. It's really weird. My first album was different than my second than the third. I think the only thing that I hold on to still, for me, that's important is lyrically that that my music is substantial. That is important to me. It always has been. But the style, different. The ear is different. My ear is different. But other than that, for me, it's just important to be lyrically respected always. And
also authentic. Because something which I really, really admire about you, in all of the interviews I've seen you and all the songs that I've heard, is you come from this place of authenticity.
Yes, I try to.
And so, as you were saying, so Let There Be Eve was the first.
Yeah.
And then Scorpion.
Yeah.
My personal fave.
Thank you.
I used to have that with my Walkman, and it would be I would rotate between that and Gwen's album, and it was kind of they kind of like fell into each other.
Well, I was obsessed with her. Clearly, she's on the album. I was obsessed with No Doubt and her, and weirdly being a hip hop kid. But my first albums that I ever had, like, I've always been into alternative music. Like Nirvana and Bob Marley were my first two ever CDs I've ever had.
Wow.
So yeah.
I mean, they're poles apart.
I know.
With speaking of Gwen,
yeah,
I wanted to ask how that relationship, that sort of pairing came about, because from the outside you could think, okay, so it's, you know, maybe they're both on the same label and they're put together to sort of cross-pollinate demographics. Yeah. Or was it completely different?
No, it was my idea. I was just like, I know that she would be so good on this song. And they fought me on it for so long. Yeah. She was the only person I wanted
They just didn't get it.
They were like, they didn't get it. They were like, this is not going to work. And I was like, well, if it doesn't work, then no one ever has to hear it. Like, if it sucks, it sucks. But I had to really fight for that. And it's funny because recently, I say recently, it was a few years ago, a guy that used to work with me at Interscope said to me, yeah, you remember when we talked about this and I said it was a good idea? I was like, no, I don't.
He was saying he said it was a good idea?
Yes. But of course, when anything's a hit or, works. And I was like, no, you didn't. You fought me on it. And they did. Everybody fought me on it. And thankfully it works out. And thankfully Gwen was down to do it because, we had a good time. But I didn't meet Gwen until that night we did the video. Like, I probably met her a month and a half after we did the song.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of other people crawling out the woodwork.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not going to do it.
I'm like, uh-oh.
I'm like, please welcome all your enemies. There was an A&R or someone who got in touch with you years after you were in the industry and kind of, it was almost like an apology.
Oh my God, yes.
Remember?
Yes, may he rest. He's not with us anymore. But he called me and said to me and apologized and said, I wish we would have listened to some more of your ideas. And I just wanted to say that. And it helped me because I have PTSD from being in the industry, and that is real. I had a lot of crazy shit happen. I had people steal my songs. I had people tell me I was crazy for thinking this and that. Artistically, when you trust people, I mean, that's not even just artistically, in life, right?
Sure.
When you trust people that you think are with you and they tell you like, no, I don't know, that's not gonna work. I really did feel crazy for a while. I did. I actually felt like, oh, well, maybe I'm not, this person that I thought. And when he called me and told me that, it actually healed something in me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed to hear it.
I needed to hear that. I really did. It's crazy. But it's happened twice. One with an A&R and one with somebody who directed a video of mine. Because it was a shitty video that he did. And I had to get it fixed. And he said to me, I always think about that. I really apologize. I'm like,
so did you have to reshoot the whole thing?
No, I actually, thank God, took all the raw footage and someone actually just fixed it and put some extra things into it. But this guy charged me so much. And yeah, fuck him.
Fuck him. I think my first introduction to you was Scorpion.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, Long Car Journeys, I would have that album with my Walkman. My sister would be listening to something else, like probably a bit like grungy, and I'd be like listening to Scorpion. The cover art is amazing.
Yeah, thank
you. It made me question everything. I was like, do I want to be her or do I want to be with her? I couldn't work it out.
That was something that we used to think about. Now, that is a funny thing. I personally didn't, but those are words that were said when we would shoot and when I would get dressed. My stylist would say things like that. Like, look, you want to be the girl that they want to fuck and the girl that they want to hang out with and the girl that they want to be. And like, yeah, that's so funny.
It makes the gays question everything.
I like it.
Yeah, keep them on their toes. So that was the first album. And obviously we talked about Gwen as well. But one of the topics I want this podcast series to be about is this concept of the breakout. The different joys, the expectations, the misconceptions that go along with the perception of someone's breakout.
Yeah.
For me anyway, it's my personal breakout for you anyway. So could you talk to me a little bit about how it feels to go through that almost blizzard cycle of being thrust into the world, where you saw value and where you thought, this shit is tough?
Where do I start with that one? Okay, so, when you're in it, it's a whirlwind. It's so busy and so crazy, and you're so wired and tired and excited and stressed and sad, and it's amazing. right? But no one can prepare you for it at all. There are no handbooks. There are no, and people that are above you, which I don't know what the hell I thought. I thought it was like a fucking country club. Like I would go up to people, like other girl rappers, and be like, hi, I just got signed. Do you want to be on my album? Like I was such a nerd, like straight up.
But you meant well, and they were like,
and they would be like, girl, like one person, I'm not gonna say her name because we're friends now, like, but she literally, and I was such a groupie. Like I would be like, hi, how are you, blah blah blah, and she'd be like, all right, yeah, who are you? And I mean, treat me, I was like mean girl. But I just had this preconceived notion that it was like a sisterhood, and that people kind of pulled you up and they talked to you and all that, and that shit just
well, you'd hope so.
But I did that to other people because I hated that it wasn't done to me. So as I came up and became and got a name and all that, if other younger artists would want to talk to me or want me to hear their record or whatever, always take my number, call me, whatever, because it's fucking lonely. You are the busiest. You are surrounded by the most people in your life. Not for everyone, because not everyone's journey is like that. My journey was like this. I was lonely. There were days where I was so lonely, so sad, so stressed, and had no one to talk to about it.
But you saw the therapeutic value of one artist helping another.
I guess that's what it must have been. I didn't know that then, but I guess it was. It was maybe my way of like, having someone also talk to about it as well. So yeah, I guess that's what it was for. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade any of it. I wouldn't trade, not even the worst days, not even the saddest days. I wouldn't trade any of it.
It's all worth it.
I'm grateful. Yeah.
You are, I think, technically a Londoner now.
Yeah.
Does it feel like home?
100%.
You've been here for nearly, is it 9-10 years now?
Yes, which is crazy. But I love
You love London.
I love it.
I think maybe it's a London foul, you'd call it. I think it's the best city in the world.
It is an incredible city to live in. Yeah.
The only other place I would live is New York.
Yes.
The only thing is,
it's crazy.
a friend of mine lived in New York for a long time as a makeup artist.
Okay,
and it was like the heyday of the 90s and that sort of supermodel era. So, at work, chic.
Yeah.
But she says one thing to me about New York, which always stays with me, is New York is the kind of place where if you're in a bad place or you're going through something and you go outside in New York, everywhere you look, it will bring you down. You know what I mean?
I totally 100% get that.
It's that sort of place that it can eat you up.
It's the golden handcuffs. That's what people like. You call New York the golden handcuffs because it is. I have friends that are diehard that will not leave. I have a friend, he's like my brother. Most of my friends have left since lockdown, but he lives in Soho in an amazing place. He watched, people break into places and was like, I'm still not leaving. He's like, I don't care. This is my neighborhood. Like, I'm
from
a New
his
Yorker.
apartment. He could see
from his apartment. Because he lives right across the street from like Chanel and all that. Like he lives in Soho.
Well, if you're going to steal something, do it properly.
True. Hello.
Yeah.
But for him though, he said it was one of the scariest things he was like, but he was like, I'd feel like a traitor if I left New York. And I have some friends that just stick it out and they're exhausted. They're exhausted. They wake up because as soon as you step on the streets of New York, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
It's really overwhelming as well.
It's so overwhelming. I feel like I love New York. I was just there before the holidays. 2-3 days now, maybe 4 at a stretch.
Okay.
And then I gotta go.
Sort of do your shit.
Yeah.
Have a day where you can enjoy it and then
you gotta go. Yeah.
So you feel like a Londoner?
I do. I love it.
Great. Well, that leads me really nicely onto my next segment, Eve. So, in honor of your lyrics, and let me blow your mind.
Okay.
The lyrics, drop your glasses, shake your asses. I'm going to read you some very typical London things.
Okay.
If it's a yay, it's a shake your ass.
Okay.
If it's a nay,
I like those.
drop your glass.
Okay.
Okay, first up, Sunday roasts.
Oh, shake your ass. It's so good. It's so damn good.
You can't beat a Sunday roast.
You cannot.
My next question here is kind of an off one. Level of thickness with gravy. This is something that us UKers really debate about.
Is this a thing?
Yes, it's a thing. I want to hear yours,
I do
and then I'll
have to
give
say
you my
that
opinion.
it is funny. My husband is obsessed. Like I'll be like, bro, we have enough gravy, and he'll be like, no, we need to make it.
But what's the thickness like?
It's a medium. It's not thick because we don't like thin gravy. You can't do thin.
That's
gravy.
the thing.
That's like spit. Okay.
Yeah, thin gravy is a no-go. It's all about the medium.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, the tube.
Well,
I'm buckling up for this answer.
Okay, well, listen. I think I haven't been on the tube. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't been on the tube in a long time. The last time was like when the Olympics were here. Okay. So that was a long ass time.
Did you just go on the tube for the shits and gigs because it was all happening, or you just?
Well, it was the quickest way to get there. But I will say this, and this is how I know.
Okay.
I felt some type of way that when people were getting on the new Victoria line?
The Elizabeth line?
The Elizabeth line.
Oh, it's a dream.
Everybody was so excited. I'm like, I feel like I need to do this.
Oh, you do?
Just once.
Have you yet?
Not yet, but I feel like this is how I know I really live here. Because I was like, I actually just need a trip.
Yeah, you were like, maybe I should go check out that Lizzie line.
Yeah. So shake your ass on that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Shake your ass on the tube.
Shake your ass on the tube.
Okay, typical UK shit weather.
I mean, drop all the fucking glasses. All of them, and stomp on them and fucking... No, guys, I have to say... Yeah, no.
Yeah, no?
It's hard. I don't care how long I've been here, that part's hard. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When it's gray and rainy, when it's beautiful like today, crisp, cold, sun, amazing.
Yeah, there's nothing better.
Yeah, but
it's all the grayness. I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, other than your husband, who I know is English, right?
Yes.
Okay, shake your ass or drop your glass. English men.
Oh, shake your ass.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Okay. What? I wouldn't be here. That's how he caught me with that accent. I was like, okay.
It's a good accent.
Yeah, no, shake your ass for sure.
Shake your ass for sure, Englishmen.
Yeah.
Next one, Glastonbury.
I mean, shake all the asses. Come on. Yeah, no.
I've never been, but it's on my list.
Yeah, it's on my list as well. I've never actually been, but I've only actually ever watched and hear about it from Billy. Shout out to Billy.
Shout out to Billy. We love Billy.
Who I know loves it. So hopefully, maybe this year, yeah.
Glastonbury is like die-hard fans.
I mean...
I need to work up the courage because I can't do the camping.
I know, well...
And this year, there's going to be some really big names this year.
I know. So. No, we actually talked about it. We might do a family trip because I have besides my new little boy, I have 4 beautiful bonus kids.
You do.
And they all are like big kids. So they'd love it. So we're actually thinking we might do it.
Okay.
We might do a family trip.
How's the new little bubba?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So much. It is truly incredible.
A blessing.
Seriously, beyond. We waited for him for a long time. We tried for a very long time. So I feel it's an honor and a privilege to be his mother. It's incredible. Yeah.
Has he developed a personality yet?
He is really, what you guys like to say, cheeky.
Oh yeah,
He's
cheeky
very
chappy.
Very cheeky chappy. Very, very. He is testing me already. When I say no, he smiles and does it slower.
Just so you can take it all in.
Yeah, exactly. But it's great. I love it.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So you wear many hats, it seems.
I do.
And you have over the years as well. So I mean, you've done TV, you've done film, you've done producing, music. When you have a creative itch in a different area of the industry, when do you know when it's time to scratch it, or does something slowly build and you're like, do you know what? I've been thinking about producing something for a while.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things where it's like a slow build. It's a conversation. It starts off with little conversations. Like, I'm very much the type of person, I do things in my head. I live in my head, but then I'll start to say it out loud. When I start saying it out loud is when it starts to happen. Yeah, that's a funny process. Like, I feel it now. I'm in that space now. I'm in a very creative space, and probably obviously just because I had a baby maybe, and I'm just a lot more open than I ever have been in my life.
Well, it's a completely new sensation as well.
Oh, it's crazy.
So it changes everything.
Changes everything. I'm so emotional, which I think I've always been emotional. I just drank through it back in the day. So, now I don't drink as much. So now all my emotions are just there. And it's nice. It's actually a nice thing.
Good.
Yeah.
We spoke earlier about sort of that emotional hangover from the early days that you had, and all the PTSD and all the sort of revelations and people coming back into your life and saying, do you know what, I see what I did, and you weren't going crazy.
Yeah.
Where are you at today in terms of sitting here 2 decades in the industry? You've done so many things. Where do you find yourself arriving to emotionally? You say you're quite sensitive at the moment, but...
Yeah. But you know what? I am accepting how nice it is to be vulnerable. Also also just allow myself to just be myself without question. And when you said earlier as well about authenticity, to be authentic, but not be apologetic about it. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to show up as the person that I am in this space. It's funny because being emotional after having kids, and me and my husband have talked about this, because he'll be like, what is going on? And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Like,
I don't know, but it's happening to me.
It's happening to me. And I had to say to him, because I've been talking to my therapist about this, but I had to say this to him, like, there's some new shit going on, and I'm sorry. Like, I don't really know how yet to phrase it for you. But I know this is what I have to allow myself to go through right now. But in that, where I would have hidden this part of myself. I would have hidden, I don't know. I just never was comfortable with emotion, ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I grew up in a family where we didn't say I love you or I hate you. It was just very like, what's happening.
Was it silent?
It's very silent.
Cold shoulders.
Yeah, lots of cold shoulders.
Worst.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a new space, but I like it.
But you also got some good advice from your mum. You said the best advice you've ever been given is that self-preservation is the first step.
Rule. Yes, it's true. No, I love that. It's true. But it took me a long time to do it. And now I'm there. And it's nice.
Good. It's a good space to be in.
Yeah.
Right, I've got some quick fire questions.
Let's do it.
My favourite. I love a game. When I'm at a party, I'm always the first one, like, who's got Scrabble?
I love Scrabble.
Yeah, me too. Have you ever played Cluedo? That's very English.
No.
You know what Cluedo is?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
Where it's like
is that the
Miss Scarlet in the dining room with the dagger.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, it's called Clue.
Like the mystery. Yeah, Clue.
Yeah,
we have
Clue.
Clue. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Person from history you'd like to take to lunch.
Ooh. Oh, this is hard.
Okay.
Because it's like 3 people.
You can make.
Can they all come?
For 4. Yeah, you can.
Okay. So Bob Marley, Maya Angelou, and Tupac.
Oh, I love Maya Angelou.
I mean,
she's my favorite.
Literally.
When I tried uni, but it all went wrong, so I got a one-way flight to Thailand. Right. This story's going somewhere.
No, I love it.
So I went to Thailand, flew to Bangkok and did all that, And then I thought to myself, let's really throw caution to the wind and get a tattoo. Because everyone else at the... So I went and got a tattoo, and it was about an hour and a half, and I lived to regret it, but the only thing that got me through was watching Maya Angelou's commencement speech at Spelman. Have you seen that video?
Have I seen? I don't think I have.
The only
I'm going to look it up today.
It's incredible.
No way,
I live
look it up
by
today.
her. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Place you're dying to travel to.
Oh, that's a good question. I have to say, my husband and I, that's kind of like our thing. We have traveled a lot. Place I'm dying to travel to.
Where's on your list where you're like, if you see it on social media, you're like, God, I want to go there.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd probably is a place I want to go back to. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
We did Vietnam on our honeymoon. I'd like to go back there.
That's an interesting choice for a honeymoon.
I know. And yeah, it was very interesting. That's why I want to go back.
You want to do it again?
Well, we need a do-over.
Okay. Because when I think of Vietnam, I think of like a million
It was incredible. It was.
Yeah.
But they lost all of our luggage. And it was for New Year's Eve. And I had nothing to wear. And do you want to ever feel really fat? Go lose your luggage in Vietnam. And like a giant, they had no shoes that would fit me. I'm dead serious. The one pair of shoes they had was in the back, like way in the back. Like every time I told them my shoe size, they were like, yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
They were like, we have flip-flops.
We have flip-flops. But it turned out to be one of the best trips ever. But we just I just would like to do it again. Because I don't think we explored as much. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Who was the first person that told you could sing and you believed them?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. Honestly, probably my mother. Mm-hmm. And because my mom is not one of those moms that's like, that's my baby. No, my mother would be like, girl, we need to figure something else out.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I would say when I saw my mother probably genuinely like, whoa, I'm impressed.
Where was that?
Probably a talent show or a talent show.
You used to do talent shows, didn't you?
Oh my God, I did all the talent shows.
Did you?
I did every talent show you could think of. But yeah, probably my mom, honestly.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Same.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.